Hey guys, welcome to FlashFlick Reviews. This is Advait here and we are going to talk about Black Widow. Black Widow is the latest Marvel film and it is set after the events of Captain America Civil War, where Natasha is a fugitive, she is on the run, and as she meets up with her sister, she uncovers a plot that ties in with her past. And now she also has to face off against this mysterious person known as the Taskmaster. Black Widow was disappointing. I honestly didn't like the movie very much. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's fine. It's okay. But I wanted a lot more from that film. Because listening to that plot, it feels like this could be a great Marvel film. But it just doesn't end up like that. There are a lot of problems with the script. There are issues with the movie. But let me just start out with what works in the film. Scarlett Johansson is just amazing as Natasha, aka Black Widow. She's just so good, and this movie does give her a past which I liked. It made me care more about her character, and I thought it was done well. Another thing that I absolutely loved about this movie was the character of Elena, her sister. Florence Pugh, the actress who plays this character, does an amazing job, and I absolutely fell in love with this character. I would even say that Elena's character, I liked her character better than Natasha's character in this movie. I don't know, I just thought she was funny, she was charming, she was likable, and she has this past that you can completely connect with. You can understand her motivations. She was very well acted by Florence Pugh. I thought that character really stood out in the film for me. I really loved what they did with the character. It was really great. And I like the acting overall. David Harbour was great, Rachel Weisz, everyone in this movie were great. And I like the visual look to the film. It was well made, definitely. It had a nice cinematography, it looked great, and it was well directed. And surprisingly enough, I connected more with these emotional sequences in the film, with the quiet sequences. I mean, the sequences where characters just sit down and talk. The scenes where characters realize certain things about their past. Those sequences worked a lot better than the other sequences. They made me care for the characters, and I really liked that. But what doesn't work with Black Widow, unfortunately, is the action. Like, I know, I love action films, I love the Marvel films, but something about the action in Black Widow just felt off to me. It was very weirdly edited, and there wasn't even a single action sequence that was memorable to me. Watching the action sequences, I just didn't feel the excitement. I just didn't feel involved with these action sequences. And this is usually not the case with action in Marvel films. They have tremendous action sequences which are very well directed and edited, but here it just felt missing. It needed a more Captain America, the Winter Soldier type of action sequences. It just didn't deliver on the action for me. Another thing that absolutely disappointed me about this movie was David Harbour's character. He was a standout in the trailers for me, but going into the movie, he absolutely does nothing in this movie. Like, nothing. You can remove his character from the movie and nothing would change. Every single event would happen exactly as it did. And that was disappointing because David Harbour gives a great performance and his character was well rounded, but he just didn't do anything in the movie. He wasn't even useful to the team, even in a situation. I was very disappointed with that. Another thing that I didn't like about the movie was, despite it having a very intriguing spy plot, it just doesn't do it justice. It's not that well written. I mean, sequences happen. I just didn't find the flow of it to be proper. I just wish they would have done something better with the way the story unfolded. It does have an interesting central plot, but as the story moves forward, you're not that intrigued with it. You're intrigued with the characters, yes, but not with the plot. And I just found that weird. And also the entire final act of this movie, the final climax, it was very badly done. Like, the way reveals come up, the way the twists and turns come up, the way the action sequences take place, very, very disappointing. I honestly liked the first 2/3 of the movie. They were fine. They were not great, but still good enough. But the final act, but the final sequences of this movie were I just didn't like them. And man, I have to talk about one more thing. The villain in this movie, Taskmaster, just listen to his powers. He can replicate any superhero's powers. He can replicate Captain America's powers. He gets the shield. He can replicate Black Panther's powers. He gets these claws type of things. And you know, that is such a great villain. I mean, that could have made an amazing villain. And he's completely wasted in this movie. Completely wasted. Completely. There is not one sequence in this movie where he uses that powers to the fullest. There isn't a single sequence. Why would you take a villain who has those abilities, put him in a movie and just make him a random guy who appears once in a while and does nothing? I find that very weird. And the reveal, there is a reveal that happens in the almost towards the end of the movie regarding who he actually is. I mean, he's wearing a mask throughout the movie, so who is the guy behind the mask? When that reveal happens, it's just so... it just didn't work. It just didn't work. I mean, I still can't understand, I still can't digest the fact they took a villain with such great abilities and they never use it in the movie. And the way they give closure to that character, it's really bad. Bad, not even just okay or mediocre, it's bad. Very disappointed with that. But overall, I think Black Widow is a film that you can have fun with. There are entertaining moments in it. The action, despite it not being very well directed or edited, I had fun with it. I enjoyed the entire movie. I enjoyed those emotional sequences a lot more. I enjoyed the characters a lot more than the actual story that was happening. It does have a lot of flaws. It does. But despite that, it makes for an enjoyable film. But you seriously have to tone down on the expectation on this one. With all of that said, I'm going to give Black Widow a B-. On the entertainment scale, it is a 7 out of 10. Lower your expectations and watch it if you have time. So that's what I thought about Black Widow. It definitely was disappointing, at least for me. It's not a bad movie again. It's by no means a bad movie. It's well made and all of that. But a lot of things about it didn't work. So put down in the comments what you guys thought about this film. I think this movie can be polarizing. Like, some people might love it, some people might be in the same page as I am. So tell me down in the comments what you guys thought about the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? Put all of that down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Share this video with your family and friends, and I'll see you again.